The decision by Kenya Airways to suspend Gire Ali, the whistleblower who recorded and shared the video, which showed authorities are blatantly allowing 239 Chinese nationals into the country at the height of the spread of the deadly COVID-19 virus. Ali had moved to court seeking orders stopping the airline from suspending him on grounds that he violated the company's human resource safety policy by exposing the company to widespread public scrutiny. Well, today he is back in court challenging his suspension just a day after Transport CS James Macharia maintained that he must be punished. Macharia, while speaking before the Joint Health Committee on Wednesday, said the staffer Gire Ali was not a whistleblower and committed an illegality by secretly filming a security facility. Well, Grace Courier is following this for us and now joins us live from our city centre studios. Grace, how has this panned out today?
Indeed, Michelle, Ali Gire can now heave a sigh of relief following the ruling that was made by Justice Weldon Korir this morning at around 9:10 a.m. Michelle, because Justice Weldon Korir ruled that he resumed duty. This is after being suspended on the 27th of February after filming and sharing that video that showed the Southern China Airlines flight, of course, coming to Kenya with the 239 passengers. Michelle. Now, through his lawyer, Mr. Dunstan Omari, Gire had sued about 11 institutions, among them KQ, the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, Director of Criminal Investigations, ATPU, and the Attorney General. And of course, they were saying that there was no ground for him to be suspended. Number one, because he did not commit any wrong in filming the flight. Number two, because that flight, according to his lawyer, Dunstan Omari, was not scheduled to arrive in Kenya. And there's also something else they're terming as once the flight reached Kenya, it was put at a place they call a Juliet Bay. This is a place where they don't have, or a place without the CCTV cameras, and hence questioning why, a flight would come to Kenya and be put at a place with no CCTV cameras, therefore showing by all means that this was not supposed to happen. But of course, luck was on his side today, and he has been asked to resume duty this morning. In fact, after the ruling by Weldon Korir, we just had a briefing by his lawyer, Dunstan Omari, accompanied by Gire, of course, and his family members. And after that, Gire did rush to KQ, which is his station of duty. Now, that matter will be mentioned again on the 30th of March. Michelle, now, after that, we did speak to his lawyer, Omari, asking what happens if, for instance, this man who has been termed a patriot is victimized, because, people were saying that, he would, this is, what people have been saying, that, for instance, his employers would just look for a slight mistake and victimize him because of that. But what we got from Omari is that they're seeking orders which, if put in place, Michelle, will ensure that anything that happens at KQ concerning Ali Gire will have the court involved. This is in a means to, of course, ensure that the man is not victimized. And as you did say, Michelle, this comes just a day after Transport CS James Macharia termed him a criminal, saying that he should be jailed for breach of security for filming the airport. Of course, that showed the arrival of that flight from Southern China Airlines, which carried 239 passengers, coming at a time where there has been the coronavirus or the COVID-19 scare. People questioning why the government would allow 239 passengers, particularly 198 from China, into the country at a time where other countries had banned flights from China. But of course, we did see earlier this last week on Friday or Thursday thereabout, Michelle, we did see Justice John Makau ban those flights from China. And of course, remember, this guy was suspended on the 27th of February. If you would allow me just to read part of that suspension letter, which said that he had breached Kenya Airways staff conduct guidelines. If I could quote Michelle, it said it has been determined that she'll be suspended from duty with effect from 27th February in accordance to provisions of clause 16.5 of the company HR policy manual. Of course, after this, we did see a lot of public outcry from people on social media questioning why this man who's been termed a patriot, a whistleblower, would be suspended. But it is a sigh of relief for him because as we speak, Michelle, he is already at his workstation at KQ. Michelle.
All right, thanks, Grace. But even as you explained this, a lot of loopholes are coming out. At the end of the day, Justice John Makau, as you rightly mentioned, had ordered the government to track all the 239 passengers aboard that China Southern Airlines and quarantine them to that effect. Still so many questions to be answered. Who allowed this flight, allegedly not supposed to land in Kenya, to land in the wake of this COVID-19 virus? Why was this flight landing in a place where there were no CCTV cameras? So as much as this is a case concerning Ali Gire, are there any charges? Has there been any accountability with regard to the authorities who let this flight land in the country?
Well, Michelle, those are the questions that we have been asking, that people have been asking, because as I did say, Michelle, earlier on, the question has been why let this flight to Kenya at a time when other countries, which, if you'd allow me to say, Michelle, have better healthcare systems than us, they already banned their flights a long time ago. Why did it take public outcry for us to react or for the president to issue an executive order? But that has already been said and done, and of course we did see Justice John Makau direct that those flights be banned. But if you remember yesterday, CS Macharia, when he was appearing before that health committee, he did refuse to delve into the circumstances that led to that plane landing in the country. Instead, he chose to tell the committee that they should focus on measures towards ensuring proper controls and surveillance of the COVID-19. This basically just showing us, Michelle, that this is an issue at hand, but they are evading it. I don't know why, but of course, if you remember a headline that we carried last week on Friday, this CSS, the top CSS, said that was a mistake that should have been avoided, but it...
All right, many thanks. It is Grace Courier live for us from our city centre studios. We remain with that report. And the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, James Macharia, says Gire should be charged for filming a security installation. Let's listen in to what he had to say before we speak to Gire's lawyer, Dunstan Omari.
He committed an illegality. You do not, especially if you are a security officer, secretary, film a security installation.
Dunstan Omari representing Gire Ali in court on this case. Many thanks for your time, Dunstan. So the CS James Macharia says your client must be punished for filming a security installations. Kenyans, on the other hand, say he should be lauded as a patriotic whistleblower. Where does this go from here?
What needs to be done is that the cabinet secretary should be sacked or impeached because he is not serving the interests of Kenyans. The minister is not in charge of security apparatus. Today in court, the DPP, the DCI, the ATPU, the AG said they will not prefer criminal charges, which means they have agreed with our client that he is a national hero. But when you look at the minister, and he's my friend, he's totally out of sync. He's looking at commercial interests without consideration of the lives of 48 million Kenyans. So if he owns a court, let him charge my client. But if the courts are being owned by the country, then he has no court he can arrest my client and take him to.
Dunstan, is there a possibility that this case, despite focusing on Gire Ali, is there a likelihood of accountability of the authorities that let this flight land in the country in the first place?
There is no accountability. One, there was a ban that no Chinese airline should land in. The airline was not scheduled normally like any other airline to land. And that's why we have even sued the Minister for Defense to come and explain how does a flight of 239 people just land at the airport without notice to anybody. It's not a locust that landed without anybody knowing. This is a serious national security lapse. Two, it is a serious national issue on the lapses of health. So the minister is trivializing things because what is coming out, how do you bring a flight without CCTV recording it? There is a lot of corruption at the airport. My client has uncovered that. And that's why the minister is saying he must ensure our client is charged.
All right, so very briefly now, Gire Ali is back at work, but what is the status of his freedom as we speak?
For now, his security has been assured by the DPP coming to court and saying he's not being arrested too. The police have confirmed that he's a citizen and he must be provided for security. The life of Ali Gire depends on the national security apparatus and the citizens of this country. We must protect one of the national heroes that has saved the Kenyans from what is happening. You've seen yesterday, they banned the flights from Iraq, from Italy. So are we talking with cross purpose?
All right, many thanks. That is Dunstan Omari, the lawyer representing KQ staffer Gire Ali, who shared the video which showed